Well, good evening. We continue our breaking news coverage. A teacher and student are dead after a school shooting at Abundant Life Christian School in Madison.
There we are. We're getting our latest update from law enforcement and school officials. In this case, 6 other people were injured. The suspected shooter, a 17-year-old girl, is also dead. The shooting was reported just before 11 this morning at the school on East Buckeye Road. Of the 6 injured, 2 are in critical condition, with the other 4 suffering non-life-threatening injuries. The shooter is believed to be a student at that school.
Our News 3 Now team has been out live across the Madison area today, bringing you coverage on this incident, bringing you information as it comes in. Let's start with Maddie Heim. She was live at Fire Station 14, where Madison officials are holding that press conference that started about a half hour ago. Maddie? Let's instead go to Jalen Banks, who has the latest. I'm not sure where Jalen is, but let's go to Jalen for the latest on what you have at this hour. Jalen?
All right, we will try to get in touch with Jalen and Maddie later on in our newscast. Who else would you like us to go to, producer?
Let's go to Merrill Hubbard, who has been at the reunification site throughout the day today at the SSM Health East Clinic at Stoughton and Buckeye Roads. Merrill?
Yeah, hey guys, like you said, I'm at the Unification Center, and right now there's nothing really going on here. We did see lots of families coming in and finally meeting their kid for the first time after hearing about the shooting this morning. You know, it's a really big moment for them to actually see their faces and hold them tight. And so it's a lot of emotions out here today. It's very heavy, but also, you know, for these parents that get to see those kids, you know, it's a very relieving feeling for them. And so we're just talking to them. And so we have been standing here, but we can't go over there just because we want to pay respect to those parents. But a couple of those parents have come over here to this quick trip. That's where we all are. And we've talked to a couple of those parents and their kids. I talked to a mother who has 3 boys that went to this school, and she just was full of emotion, so happy to see them, but also full of grief for what has happened in her community here today. Take a listen.
It's sad, you know, to be home and then somebody call you and said your kids schooling like down and shooting and you didn't know where they are. And then I was there since 11. I finally got them, and thank God they were safe. But the trauma, it's a lot, because I'm sure they lost friends and teachers, which is not okay. And I don't think they will be okay for a long time, and I'm not.
Like I said, this mother had 3 boys that are going to Abundant Life Christian School. So for her to see all 3 of them in her arms again, that was a big, big moment for her. We got to meet all of her kids, and they are safe. But she did say that they're going to have conversations down the line. You know, it doesn't stop here. They have a lot more to talk about what they've experienced here today. And a lot of the trauma will stick with them for much longer than these 24 hours. You know, this is an ongoing, long process to figure out what's going on. So, but for now, reporting live on Madison's East Side, Merrill Hubbard, News 3 Now.
Merrill, thank you. Yeah, your heart goes out to that mother. You can see the pain, and she is not okay, as she said, and none of us should be okay with this, and our hearts go out to those families impacted today. Now, we did mention earlier that they and the police chief confirmed that they had exercised a search warrant at that home on the city's north side. Let's go to Jalen Banks for the latest on what we know right now about that investigation on the city's north side. Jalen?
Eric, what has already been an understandably hectic day for people across Madison has not slowed down for individuals that live on Delaware Boulevard on Madison's north side. Now, just over my right shoulder is the home where the incident took place. Madison police confirming just within the hour that the incident that took place at this home has connection to the school shooting that happened earlier today, but cannot confirm as to whether or not the shooter lives in that very home. Now, speaking to individuals that live in this area, they say just around 2 p.m. they heard multiple loud booms, so much so to where it shook their homes. I spoke to someone in the neighborhood earlier today. Here's what they had to say.
I'm not in direct view of the home. However, when I got home this afternoon, I heard such a loud boom that it shook my house. One person said they heard 3 booms. I must have got home just as the last one went. That was shortly before 2 o'clock.
In the conversations that I've had with multiple people, multiple residents in this neighborhood, they've said that an incident like this is just unprecedented for this neighborhood. This is something that they would not have seen coming, a home being raided or invaded in this area. But we'll continue to keep you guys updated at home, both on air and online. I'm going to toss it back to you for now, Eric.
All right, Jalen Banks reporting from the north side. And again, those booms, probably the actions of officers going into that home where they exercised that search warrant on Delaware Boulevard on the north side. Now, we know, as we mentioned, at least 6 people have been injured.
Will Keneally is at UW Hospital near the emergency room entrance, and he has more on some of the conditions of the patients. Will, what can you tell us?
That's right. So we know that 6 people are injured. We know that 2 are very critically injured. And we're at one of the hospitals that has been taking care of those patients so far. It's the UW Hospital here, and then St. Mary's further in the Violets neighborhood down on Park Street there. Now, this is the level 1 trauma center for this region. So that's the highest elevated level of care that people can receive. Also here, the emergency room is right behind me here. Right next to it is the American Family Children's Hospital here at the UW Hospital. And that also, between the two, they have a pediatric intensive care unit. So again, the top level of care that these victims can receive being taken care of here as well. I do want to say, too, we are tracking statements as these politicians come in as well. We heard earlier from Madison Police Chief Sean Barnes and other local leaders that the president has spoken with them, has provided some support as well. We had a statement from President Biden here saying that Jill and I are praying for all the victims today, including the teacher and teenage student that were killed. He goes on to say that we can never accept senseless violence that traumatizes children, their families, and tears entire communities apart. So again, not much new that we have here, except for that there are still 2 students in critical condition at Madison hospitals here. We'll continue to provide you updates on the ground throughout the evening when we get them. But for now, reporting from UW Hospital, Will Keneally, News 3 Now.
All right, Will, thank you. And we want to mention, too, from that press conference, the 2 students he mentioned remain critical. From the press conference, though, it was a teacher and 3 other students taken to hospitals, and 2, we are happy to report, have been released from the hospital of those that had non-life-threatening injuries. Now, multiple services are also being planned to honor the Abundant Life Christian School shooting victims. A prayer service at Black Hawk Church in Middleton is set for 7 p.m. tonight. The public is invited to attend, and a candlelight vigil is set for tomorrow at 6 p.m. at the state capitol, hosted by the Boys and Girls Club of Dane County, as shared by the club's president. On the Facebook page there, the vigil will be in front of the Vel Phillips statue. Those who will be present as of now are Madison Mayor Satya Rhodes Conway, the school district superintendent, Dr. Joe Gothard, Bishop Godfrey Stubbs, and the Focus Interruption CEO, United Way CEO, and other community members.
Abundant Life Christian School issued a statement on its Facebook page about this. It reads, "Prayers requested. Today we had an active shooter incident at ALCS. We are in the midst of following up, and we will share more information as we are able. The school district is asking, please pray for our Challenger family," end quote.
And we mentioned Madison schools nearby were put on a hold today, and we have a statement from MMSD. Multiple schools on hold while police responded to Abundant Life. Quote, "This unimaginable tragedy impacts not just one school, but all of us in the greater Madison community. No one should face these complex emotions in isolation. As a community bound by mutual respect and compassion, we urge everyone to continue looking out for one another, to offer kindness, and to keep the Abundant Life Christian School community in your thoughts," end quote. And earlier today, Madison Chief Sean Barnes addressed the media. Here's what he said earlier today.
Right now, my heart is heavy for my community. My heart is heavy for Madison, and we have to come together as a community and figure out what happened here and make sure that it doesn't happen in any other place that should be a refuge for students in our community.
And that was Sean Barnes at the 2:30 press conference, the initial one we had earlier today, and then he just wrapped one up. I think it might even still be going, but we cut out of that just a short time ago. The 5:30 press conference, they will again have a briefing tonight with more updates at 8:30, and we'll bring that to you as it happens. Governor Evers also has commented on the shooting, saying in part, quote, "We are praying for the kids, educators, and entire Abundant Life school community as we await more information, and are grateful for the first responders who are working quickly to respond," end quote. The governor, we should mention, has also ordered flags across the state to be flown at half staff in honor of the victims, and that order will end next Sunday.
And we also have statements from both of Wisconsin's U.S. senators. Democratic Senator Tammy Baldwin saying she's ready to assist law enforcement and anyone affected. Republican Senator Ron Johnson extending his condolences. Both said they are monitoring this situation.
Our Braden Ross says, there's Ron Johnson's statement as well. I want to pass along my sincere condolences and prayers for all the victims at Abundant Life. I will continue to closely monitor that situation. And our Braden Ross has been outside Abundant Life School monitoring as those students came out of the building earlier today on their way aboard those buses to head over to that reunification site with their parents. She joined us now live with what she's seeing there. Braden?
That's right, you guys. We've talked a lot about the developments that have happened throughout the day, but we did, this is where it all started. This behind me here is the school. Hopefully you can see a little bit. I know it's gotten dark. There are still a few flashing lights, squad cars with flashing lights up there, but most have cleared out by now. We also, like you said, did see some of those students as they were being taken out of the school as well on buses. Metro buses were here. They were the big, long BRT buses, the foldable ones, and they were able to use those to get some of those students back to that reunification center with their parents. But I have some video that I can show you now from earlier today. This is from a neighbor that we talked to here. His house actually backs up to where this school is, and he took this video as the shooting was unfolding here, and as students were streaming out of the building and law enforcement was coming into the building. He was talking about just how loud it was with all the sirens and the chaos that he was feeling. And then when we talked to him just a few short hours later, it was dead quiet out here. And that is the juxtaposition that he was seeing. And obviously those images are something we've seen from across the country, different areas having, unfortunately, a similar situation here. I talked to another community member here who told me that, you know, obviously while this is something he was horrified to see here, it's not something that surprised him.
Unbelievable. I mean, it's sad that, you know, with what's been going on the last couple years, that it was going to be a matter of time before this comes to Madison. And, you know, it doesn't make it any easier. It doesn't make it any less tragic. It doesn't make it any less shocking.
Yeah, and again, absolutely does not make it any less easier to know that this has happened in other places as well, and now Madison is joining that long list of unfortunate cities that have experienced this before. But we will keep you updated as we learn more about the investigation that is clearly still continuing inside this school. They're absolutely combing through everything, I'm sure, and making sure that they get the full picture before they share it with us. It sounds like maybe later tonight. I'll send it back to you for now.
All right, Braden Ross reporting live at Abundant Life tonight. Braden, thank you. And coming up, we'll have more coverage of today's shooting at Abundant Life Christian School.
After the break, we'll hear from a student resource officer about private schools and student safety. We'll be right back.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6, brought to you by Gruber Law Offices.
At Gruber Law Offices, winning is no accident. Our team knows what it takes to get you the compensation you deserve. If you've been injured, call us today. Proud partner of your Milwaukee Bucks. One call, that's all.
Ever wonder why your house is so cold and drafty? Knowing the answer could save you a lot of money. Usually, the problem is your walls. That's why USA Foam Insulation is such a game changer. It's easily installed from the outside and fills up your wall cavities with cold-blocking foam. Your warm air stays inside, your furnace runs less, and you get a lower gas bill. And right now, USA Insulation has their best deals of the year because they know winter is when you need it the most.
USA Insulation.
There's a lot to love about life in the 608. Beautiful lakes, miles of bike trails, great local ice cream.
News 3 Now's Josh Spreiter highlights the people, places, and opportunities that make our communities shine.
The dreamers and doers and donors.
Tell Josh what inspires you, and it might be featured on News 3 Now this morning.
Fundraisers, farmers markets, family events.
In the 608, weekdays only on News 3 Now this morning.
It doesn't get any better than this.
The excellence of driving a Buick is matched by the excellence of the dealership experience when you own a Buick. Buick, exceptional by design.
Get a 2024 Buick Envista starting at $23,495. For attractive offers, visit these Buick dealers today.
Wait Wake up every morning with Savannah Brito and her Plan Your Day forecast, designed to help you plan your day before you walk out the door. Plan your day with Savannah. Weekday mornings starting at 4:30, only on News 3 Now this morning. You're watching News 3 Now at 6, moving forward.
And welcome back to our continuing coverage of the school shooting at Abundant Life Christian School.
Let's go through everything that's happened that has led us to this point. Police responded to the shooting just before 11 this morning at Abundant Life Christian School in Madison, and that's on East Buckeye Road. We have learned multiple people were killed and injured. 2 students have been released from the hospital. They had non-life-threatening injuries. 2 other students are still in critical condition. Among the dead, the shooter, who was also a student at the school. Parents were meeting at the reunification center at Dean Center, while patients were transported to nearby hospitals with injuries. All student survivors are reunited with their families at this point.
Yeah, they said that process is now complete, at least for the students. There were some staff members still going through that reunification process with their families. We want to go live to Maddie Heimsch now. She has been along with these press briefings throughout the day and has spent the last several hours at Madison's Southeast Fire Station number 14, and she has just joined us live now from where that press conference just wrapped up. Maddie?
Hey, you guys, yeah, like I said, right here live where that press conference just took place that we were reporting on. Now, we heard again from Madison Police Chief Sean Barnes, and we heard from the first time today from a school official. And again, kind of like you were just saying, those most immediate updates is that reunification is complete with all surviving students. They have been reunified with their families, although some of the staff that were staying behind to help those students have yet to reunify with those families. But for all students at the school, they are back with their families. Now, 2 students, like you said, remain in critical condition, but of the 4 that had non-life-threatening injuries, 2 have since been released from the hospital. That's a new update we just got. So 2 are released and 2 have life-threatening injuries and 2 still with non-critical injuries. Now, Police Chief Sean Barnes says they're still working to find a motive, and he declined to share the name, age, or gender of the suspect for the time being. He said at the next conference at 8:30, he may be able to share some more of those details. But for now, he had this to say about the spread of information.
And also, it could further fan the flames, if you will, of misinformation and of fear at a time where we need to come together and not be divided by anything.
Now, we also got some new information about the protocols within the school. School official Barbara Wires spoke to that. She said there are cameras in the building and students are visually scanned. That's the phrase she used as they come into the building every day. They lock their doors, but she said there is no school resource officer and no metal detectors in the building. So that's what we know about the school's policies, those safety policies. She said she was teaching at the time that it all happened, and they did all go on lockdown. So that's the most updated information we know right now. Again, there will be another press conference at 8:30, and we'll continue to provide those updates. But for now, I'm going to send it back to you guys.
All right, Maddie, thank you very much.
Well, Abundant Life Christian School is, of course, a private school, which, as Armand Rahman found, has different access to safety resources than public schools. Armand joins us now. What have you learned, Armand?
Well, Brady and Eric, as Maddie mentioned there, that the school officials said the Abundant Life Christian School did not have a school resource officer. Now, I sat down with the executive director of the National Association of School Resource Officers, Mo Kennedy. He says ALCS was not in their database as having an SRO. In Madison, school resource officers were removed from schools in the recent years. Kennedy says even if they were placed back in public schools, the current system doesn't really allow local governments to place them back into private schools as well.
For right now, for private schools, if they want to have a law enforcement presence, they're going to have to privately hire an off-duty law enforcement officer to work in that environment. And so, you know, again, so you're talking about them having to self-fund that situation.
School safety and SRO grants from the Department of Justice, but more, he says, can be done there as well. And Kennedy says SROs aren't just a reactive resource. They can also forge relationships with students and staff to help students with mental health issues get those resources.
All right, Armand, thank you. And of course, Madison Police Chief Sean Barnes has been a strong proponent of getting school resource officers back in our schools. Armand, once again, thank you. Well, right now, Moms Demand Action, or MADS, is releasing a statement on today's shooting. In it, they say, quote, "Our hearts are broken by the news of the shooting at Abundant Life Christian School, a place that should feel safe and secure. We are praying with their families." End quote.
Meanwhile, the city of Madison is providing several resources that may help support those who have been affected by this tragedy. Calling 211 will get you free and confidential information on several services, including mental health. 988 is for the Suicide Crisis Lifeline. You can also call the SAM HSA Disaster Distress Helpline for mental health services, including those impacted by mass shootings. And then there is the Victim Connect Resource Center, which offers confidential assistance to victims of crime through trained specialists who are available to help you locate services in your area, including mental health, counseling, legal services, and much more. We'll still ahead more coverage on today's deadly school shooting.
When we come back, we'll check in with some of our reporters for the very latest. Stay with us.
I was an occupational therapist and I had lost my position. I was able to just go the next day, oh well, I can dash. I love it for the freedom. I can schedule myself. Also, dashing just gives you a sense of purpose. Having portable benefits would be really awesome for me because I could use them to help cover my vision, copays, and adding to my 401k. And I could continue to build that till I retire.
The holidays come but once a year, and Masterforce is here to spread some cheer. With drivers and drills and blades and bits, from sanders and saws to power tool kits. Menards has the value in savings, of course. Shop tools and accessories from Masterforce. Find great stocking stuffers and gifts at Menards. Plus, don't forget about gift cards. Hurry now for deals on Masterforce. Available at Menards, the best tool source.
Funny Girl is the theatrical event of the season. Entertainment Weekly raves Funny Girl is a love letter to the big old-fashioned Broadway musical. Don't miss Funny Girl, playing December 31st through January 5th at Overture Center. Tickets at overture.org.
It's the Get Holiday Ready sales event with the Ford crew.
What happened?
Someone took the Bronco out for an extended test drive.
They used all the goat modes. Goes over any type of terrain.
They did it all, man.
Looks like they had a lot of fun.
Those boots are awfully muddy, Sam.
My boots? I did it. I'm gonna do it again.
Lease a new Bronco Sport Big Ben for only $3.99 a month, or a Bronco Big Ben for just $4.99 a month for 36 months.
Red 25.
You're going down.
It's a hut.
Life's better when you're under our roof.
I'm open.
Go deep.
Because you'll feel totally protected.
Number one.
Also, your family can pursue their dreams. Bundle life and save up to 25% on home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Experience the Channel 3000 News app today. Enjoy a website-like layout and swipe through articles without returning to the home screen. Download the Channel 3000 News app, powered by News 3 Now.
And we continue our coverage now of the Madison Abundant Life Christian School shooting. We have had crews out throughout the day, and we want to get out now to our Merrill Hubbard, who is live at the Family Reunification Center at the SSM Health East Clinic on Buckeye and Stoughton Roads. Merrill, what's the latest?
Yeah, like you said, I'm at the Unification Center talking to families and kids that went to the Christian school. I met with one second grader who was there during the shooting, and she tells me what she heard during the event.
I was getting ready for lunch, so it was basically lunchtime. And then I just heard sobbing, and there was a teacher named Mrs. Slater, and she was screaming like, "Ah, my leg, help, help."
Now, we know that no kid should ever have to experience this at school. And what is in question now is the recovery process. What is it going to take for these kids to recover from what they've experienced here in Madison today? But for now, reporting on Madison's east side, Meryl Hubbard, News 3 Now.
Meryl, thank you. So difficult to see the youngest in our community respond to such a situation. We want to remind you multiple services are being planned to honor those shooting victims. A prayer service at Black Hawk Church in Middleton is set for 7 o'clock tonight. The public invited to attend a candlelight vigil tomorrow at the state capitol at 6 p.m. hosted by the Boys and Girls Club. Again, we will have another live update tonight. The police say they will have another update at 8:30 p.m. We will bring you that live as it happens.
And you can also go to channel3000.com or utilize our app for those updates. Good evening.